I'm Abbey Willis. I'm 21 years old and I am a pro Nfm Bikini athlete. Yeah, so I've been a dancer for, well, since I can remember, I think since I walked. And I got to the age of around 16, 17. I was really unhappy with how I looked. So I decided to just start getting into a little bit of weightlifting, a little bit of training. I decided to do my personal training course as an alternative to dance career, because it is a very picky industry. It's very hard to get into, just like anything. So I went on that course. I fell in love with training, more so than dancing at that point, and I just pursued the gym. I was there all the time. And yeah, it was just in pursuit of getting a body that I was more happy with than the one I currently had. First time I stepped on stage was at like this really small in-house show. So it was called Atlas actually, and it was like at a gym, but in like their big studio. So it was like this tiny little setup stage, and it was just exciting. But I thought it was the biggest thing ever. And they really made you feel at home, but I was so nervous, because you're getting judged on your body at the end of the day, but I loved every minute of it, and I knew exactly from that moment that I was on that stage for the first time, this is where I'm meant to be. So this year was my first time competing with NFM, and it started with the Derby show in May, so I prepped for that competition. I won the bikini class, which is this little baby here, and then I actually went on to win the overall female of the show, which was, there's a photo of me somewhere just kind of like, me? Like, really? And then from there I went back to do the British finals, which was a pro show. So I won my pro card in the May show to then compete as a pro in the show later on in the year, which I won my pro class, which is this one, and then I went on to win the overall bikini winner, who got the trip to Texas fully paid for, which was, at the time, I think I'd like died and came back to life. I dropped to the floor. It was the biggest achievement of my life. And then yeah, 4 weeks later I was on a plane to Texas with Suki, Guy and Ash, and I competed amongst 23 other countries in their kind of GBO World Show, which I came away with second place in the world, which got me this lovely little medal. I also won $500, and I also won an award for best presentation, which won me another $500. So I came home with over $1,000, which for bikini competing, we really don't have a lot of money in the sport. So it was absolutely incredible to not only be awarded trophies, obviously the opportunities, but to actually get something back from the sport that I had put so much money into was next level. NFM, they're all about the athletes. They're all about giving back to us. I've competed with a lot of federations the past 3 years, and I've done well with all of the federations I've competed with, but I've never found my place. I've never found one that actually gives back as much as we put in to the sport. I've never found a federation that gives back so much. And yeah, I won a fully sponsored trip to compete internationally. That doesn't happen very often, and it really doesn't. And just also the prizes for them are next level as well. You don't just come away with a trophy, you come away with supplements, clothing, stage jewelry in some of the shows. They really do give back. I can't promote them enough. As a federation, they're also a family, and they'll do everything they can to support you as an athlete and also your journey. They've been awesome, honestly. Training wise, I train 4 to 5 times a week, 5 times as it gets closer to a competition. Generally split those days, quads, hamstrings, upper body push, upper body pull. Cardio seeps in very close to competition for me because I still do dance professionally now, which I'm very blessed to be able to do both industries. I do use that as some of my cardio, but obviously because my body's used to that, I still do need to add, just like any athlete, you know, those 60 minutes on the Stairmaster or whatever. When you get closer to the competition, that definitely seeps in like daily. Diet-wise, I like plain food. I'm a very plain person when it comes to food anyway. So for me, when I have a goal, nothing is gonna get in my way, especially food-wise. If someone offers out celebrations or it's someone's birthday and they have a birthday cake, I'm not gonna take that slice because I know, you know, some people look at it as just one piece of cake or one little tiny sweet. I'm like, no, I've got to step on stage, get judged on my body. You know, I'm not going to take that even that tiniest risk. So yeah, when I have a goal, it's completely 100% towards that, and no coming off at any point. This time round, I didn't really have any kind of cheat days. I had one reload day closer to Texas because I'd been on prep already for 12 weeks for that British finals, and then it was an extra 4 weeks added to that prep, so I had to have a reload as I was going to kind of go into a state where it's really hard to pull yourself back from. I find after competition is always the hardest, especially for females. You want to get your hormones back to that kind of like normal level, because obviously we do diet so hard, it can have an effect on our body. I've never pushed it past the point where I can't get anything back, or I've never pushed it to the point where I lose anything that is necessary for female production and stuff like that. So for me, the most important part of your diet is that off season. It's going into that reverse diet and just bringing your food back up really, really slowly, but make sure you are bringing it back up and not trying to stay in that lean state. And like, even though it is hard, body image wise especially, you've seen yourself look your best that you could ever look on stage. It is hard to then see your body. You have to put on fat. You have to do that to be to live and be comfortable. And you have to be comfortable with the fact you're going to add fat on as well as muscle. But it's necessary for the next year, because then you can improve your look. That's the only way we can improve, really. That's the most important part for me, is that reverse diet and getting back on like high energy levels, really. Lots of naughty words to that. No, but it is so true, and people do still say it, even though it has become more normal for females to train and put on muscle and be in the gym. You still hear people going, that's the men's area. That's my home, that's my area, that's where I like to be, that's where I like to train. It's not for men anymore, it's for everyone. And like I said, I started this because I wasn't happy with how I looked. I feel like before I started training, I had more of a little boy's body than a female's body. Through training, I've added size to places which have made me feel more feminine, and given me that kind of feminine confidence that I needed, especially at that time. So for people that are still saying women shouldn't train or put on muscle, I just think their minds are too small. Too small. So I'm taking most of the year out. I believe Suki's going to tell you what my main plan is for next year. He's going to introduce that wherever he is. But yeah, I'm taking a long off season, building lots of clean muscle, and then I'll be prepping again I'm doing a contest next year.
Yeah, got so much to do. Awesome, nice one. Yeah, that's my cue.
I did the whole.
That's my cue.
I can't tell you.
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Is it
can't
still
tell
rolling?
you. I'm
Good,
sorry.
I'm all natural now. Well, what was the question? What were we talking about here?
What's my plan for next year?
What's my plan for next year?
I can't tell you.
No, yeah. So
Secret.
obviously, you guys, Abbey came second at the pro show over at GBO in Texas. So even though we're expanding the number of people we're sending over to compete in America next year, what we have done is each year we'll also always have one wild card. So the wild card is basically something that we can give out to one of the competitors. Usually the one of the competitors has competed in the Atlas show in America, where we'll send them back out, where we'll cover their flights and obviously their accommodation, so they can hopefully go one step further in the competition. So it was obviously between Ash and Abbey, but I made the announcement the day after the show that we will be sending Abbey back out to compete at the Atlas next year in Oklahoma City, where hopefully you'll go one place higher. Hopefully take that first place, take $2,000, but we'll be sending her out, obviously covering her flights, hotel, and she'll be back with our full GB team next year. So, so yeah, that's her plans now.
That's my
you
plan.
know. Now you know that.
That's the plan.
But I'll tell you what, there is one other thing as well, which I will say. This is something you don't know. So, as some of the guys, anyone who's been overseeing the Instagram socials over the past 2 weeks, we have been doing our People's Champions Awards. So these awards have been very much voted by the public. You know, in the end, the judges did all the voting for who wins the classes. This is something for the public to get involved in. And I know you were involved in the Bikini Athlete of the Year, which unfortunately you came second. And for the award, won that award. We've got the awards all being sent out to all the winners this week. But there was a separate award, which I didn't announce because that is away from the public vote. So we had all the ones which were public voted. This one was very much one that obviously I chose because this is the Outstanding Achievement Award. So obviously because I've jumped in, the Outstanding Achievement Award for this year obviously goes to Abbey, and I do have awards for her. So these awards are a bit different. So rather than doing trophies, we've done something a bit different than other awards that people have done. So these ones will go out to all the People Champions Awards winners. So Matt, Wayne, Fleur, Anissa, Karis. So I will obviously try to bring this out without you guys seeing. So you can obviously turn this around, and then if you have a look.
Oh my gosh!
So
that's
it is
incredible.
something different. At least that way, it's something they could take away as well, something away from the trophies. So big thank you as well to Cookie Madders, obviously our sponsors for it. You can see we've got the Ukbeef logo as well. GBO, our sponsors, give Ron, who does all the tanning. But yeah, there's the award, and the other guys who won their awards as well, they'll receive these as well in the post in the next week or so. There you go.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's my bit.